Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong and welcome to Pointless, the show where the aim of the game is to avoid obvious answers and find the obscure ones. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hi, I'm Steve, and this is my mate Fraser, and we're from Edinburgh and Kinross.
And couple number two.
Hello, Xander. I'm David. This is Rosie. She's my mum, and we're from Broxbourne and Hoddesdon in Hertfordshire.
Couple number three.
I'm Hannah. This is Matt. He's my husband, and we're from Bristol.
And finally, couple number four.
Hi, I'm Drew, and this is Mitesh. We're friends, and I'm from Cheltenham, and he's from West London.
And these are today's contestants. Thanks, all of you. We'll find out more about you throughout the show as it goes along. So that just leaves one more person for me to introduce. Unequivocally and unarguably the cleverest man on that chair. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hi, everybody. Hiya. Afternoon to you.
And to you.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. We got Hannah and Matt back from last time. They were really properly good.
They were good.
They were unlucky in that head-to-head, got knocked out in the head-to-head, but I don't want to scare anyone else, but leading up to that, they were terrific all the way through, I have to say.
Do you know, I think that was tactics.
Getting knocked out?
They threw it, yep.
Of course.
Threw it.
Actually, of course it was.
Of course
so they could come back and have a slightly bigger jackpot.
Yep.
And be on telly for a bit longer.
Yep.
And skive off from being police officers for a bit longer as well.
Yep.
Clever.
Clever.
I worry about the streets of Bristol with both of them here, though.
True.
That's been 2 days without the law
Without the long arm of the law.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Bristol is running amok.
I bet it is as well.
I bet it is.
I bet even Bath is starting to get a little bit tasty. Edgy. Yeah, exactly. Now, do you want me to talk you through some of the questions?
Quickly.
I can't, unfortunately, because for once in my life I've forgotten to bring them on with me. So while you're talking to the people on the first podium, a Magic Pixie's going to bring them on for me. I'm almost certain.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
That is amazing. I can see the Magic Pixie arriving. I will talk to the guys and then I'll come back to you. By which time you'll know all about the questions.
Hey!
I tell you what, it's going to be a good show, though.
It's going to be amazing. The questions are going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Genuinely terrific
I'm looking
stuff.
forward to them.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. We're
do.
going to do stuff about post-apocalypse Bristol. I think is going to be one of the rounds.
Fantastic. Thanks, Richard. Now, as usual, all of today's questions have been asked to 100 people before the show. And our contestants here are on the hunt for one of those all-important pointless answers, that being an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And each time that happens, we will add 250 quid to the jackpot. Now, Steve and JK didn't win the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £2,000. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. OK, now the pair...
Can I just say,
Yeah.
Magic Pixie has just been in. And I was right, round one is an absolute doozy. I'm so glad I got these before I talked to you because everyone's going to need warning about how good round one is.
Brilliant.
It's a cracker.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
OK.
Now, the pair with the highest score at the end of this round will be eliminated, but also do remember that there is to be no conferring during the round. OK, so our first category today is... He's right, it's famous people. You can all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second. And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. Oh, look at that. They can hardly hold themselves back.
I know you haven't seen what the question is yet.
They're fighting to go first.
Yeah, of course they are.
I've never seen that before.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
OK, now, the question concerns... It's famous Nigels.
Yeah.
That's the best thing ever.
Thank you very much.
It's famous Nigels,
Worth
Richard.
waiting for, wasn't it? Yeah,
Oh.
On each pass, we're going to show you 7 clues to famous people known by the name Nigel. You just have to give us the most obscure answer you can, please. It's going to be 14 Nigels to get at home. Very best of luck on your Nigel hunt.
OK, now, 14 Nigels. We are looking for these famous people called Nigel, and here is the first board of 7. Former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer, 1983 to 1989, the actor who played Sir Humphrey Appleby in Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, the judge on Pop Stars, dubbed Nasty Nigel by the tabloids, British politician, resumed leadership of UKIP in 2010. He lost the World Snooker final to Stephen Hendry in 1995. Violinist, his recording of Vivaldi's The Four Seasons spent over 80 weeks on the UK albums chart. And the screenwriter created the character Bernard Quatermass, first seen on TV in 1953. I'll read those all one last time. Former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer, 1983 to 89. Actor who played Sir Humphrey Appleby in Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. Judge on Pop Stars, dubbed Nasty Nigel by the tabloids. The British politician resumed leadership of UKIP in 2010. Lost World Snooker final to Stephen Hendry in 1995. Violinist, his recording of Vivaldi's The Four Seasons spent over 80 weeks on the UK albums chart. and the screenwriter who created the character Bernard Quatermass, first seen on TV in 1953. Now then, Steve and Fraser, you all drew lots before the show, and today you are going to go first. Steve, first into the Nigels. What about that? Wow, what a treat.
I'm ready for this.
What a treat. Steve, you're from Edinburgh.
Yep.
What do you do up in Edinburgh, Steve?
I work in IT for Britain's largest fleet management company.
What do you do in your spare time?
Play a lot of sport, play football, play basketball, play cricket, a little bit of home baking.
What's your signature bake, Steve?
Apple crumble's pretty good.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Do you know
Victoria
what?
sponge.
No, I do apple crumble. I got a really good tip the other day.
Go on then.
This is absolutely true. You put a bit of cheddar cheese in there.
Do you?
You grate a bit of cheddar cheese, not in the crumble, but on the apple. And when it melts, it's delicious. I've tried it.
People take the mick out of Xander all the time. I'm so sorry. Sometimes this sort of thing comes up sometimes.
Can't see why.
Yeah. I always like to put some blackberries in my lasagna as well.
Now, that's just silly. Anyway, I give you that for nothing. Now, Steve, what do you get? Which of these Nigels? There they are, 7. Who knew there were so many Nigels?
Yeah. There's a couple I know, but I think I'm going to go for the pop star's judge, which I think was Nigel Lithgow.
Nigel Lithgow, says Steve. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. Nigel Lithgow. It's right. 18. Not bad. 18 for Nigel Lithgow.
Yes, on all sorts. Nigel Lithgow started as a dancer, as a TV executive, judge, all sorts of things.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Now, David, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. You've come from Broxbourne, David. What do you do up there?
I don't do it there. My office is in Crowborough, where I look after the sales and marketing for a small little engineering distribution company.
OK, but when you're not doing that, you are to be found back in Broxbourne. You run the local pub quiz, don't you? Is that right?
Yes. Yes, for my sins.
OK, at the Golden Lion. It's famous.
It is very famous.
In the whole Broxbourne area, one of the most famous pub quizzes.
Yeah, top 20.
Yeah, in the Broxbourne district.
Pub, I think 1492, the pub.
1492, that is cheap.
It's one of the oldest pubs in England.
Now then, David, Nigels. We're on to Nigels.
I'm racking my brain for the snooker player, but I can't think of it, so I'm prepared to play a bit safe and say Sir Humphrey was played by Nigel Hawthorne.
Nigel Hawthorne. Nigel Hawthorne. OK, now, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Nigel Hawthorne. That's a good answer, 24. Very well done.
Well done, David. Yeah, that was his big TV break, actually. Yes, Minister. Went on to all sorts of amazing things. Nominated for an Oscar, but lost out to Tom Hanks.
Of course, yeah, so it was. OK, there we are. Now, Hannah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hannah, last time, what an exemplary turn you put in on Pointless.
Yeah, I'm rather gutted, though, because I can't believe how much of a blank I'm drawing on the rest of the board.
On the Nigels?
Yeah. Nigels are not a strong point. So I'm going to go, ironically, for a politician, because that was not a strong point last time round. The British politician resumed leadership of UKIP in 2010. It's a bit of a punt, but I think it might be Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage, you're going to say. They know they're politicians. That was all just a complete game, wasn't it? To
They
get
know
out
everything,
of the
Hannah and
head.
Matt.
Yeah, they know it all. Nigel Farage says, Hannah, let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Nigel Farage. Absolutely right. Well, 24 is our high score. Look at that, 62 for Nigel Farage. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to stop so soon.
That's a very big score, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got very good name recognition. All over the telly and stuff like that, isn't he?
Certainly has. OK, now then, Drew.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome to the show. What do you do, Drew?
I'm a data analyst for another large IT company.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes, Steve, IT, yes, exactly, for the fleet, but yeah, but they were more a large fleet company rather than a large IT company. Much better at getting people from A to B, whereas you are an actual IT company dedicated to improve people's lives online, which is great. Now, Drew, you are the last person to have this board, so if you fancied it, you could talk us through all the Nigels that are as yet unclaimed.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know any famous Nigels that are on that board, so I'm going to take a stab at a former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer as Nigel Harris.
Nigel Harris. Nigel Harris. OK, well, let's find out if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Nigel Harris. Bad luck, Drew. I'm sorry. An incorrect answer scores you the maximum of 100 points. Sorry.
Sorry, Drew, not Nigel Harris. It's quite a big scorer. It is, of course,
Lawson.
Nigel Lawson. Yeah, Nigella Lawson's father as well. 54 points that would have scored you. There's another quite big scorer down there, the violinist.
Kennedy.
That's Nigel Kennedy. He would have scored you 39. The other two are the best answers up there. The snooker final, I know you're trying to think of the snooker player. Some people at home would have got this. It was Nigel Bond. Very well done if you said Nigel Bond, would have scored you 8. And the screenwriter, do you know that? He was married to Judith Kerr, who wrote The Tiger Who Came for Tea.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Nigel Neal.
Nigel Neal,
Nigel
yes.
Neal would have scored you 2 points. So very well done if you said that. It's the best answer up there.
Thanks very much indeed. So we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at the scores as they stand. 18, the best score of that pass, Steve. Very well done indeed. Then up to 24, where we find David and Rosie. 62, where we find Hannah and Matt. And then up to 100, where Mitesh and Drew currently reside. Now, anything might happen. Who knows what... I mean, frankly, if we can wrangle enough Nigels and put them on the board, I mean, there are going to be some pretty obscure Nigels there, in my opinion. So find one of those and get it right, and maybe that'll keep you in the game. Best of luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? OK, we're going to put 7 more Nigels on the board, and here they are. Actor has made many appearances since 1983 as Terry Duckworth in Coronation Street. Actor played Neil Pye in sitcom The Young Ones. 1992 Formula One Drivers' Champion. British chess player ranked 3rd in the world by FIDE, 1988-89. Actor played Lord Andrew Lindsay in the 1981 film Chariots of Fire. Locomotive engineer, 1876 to 1941, designed both the Flying Scotsman and Mallard. And the food writer and broadcaster who wrote an autobiography entitled Toast, the Story of a Boy's Hunger. I'll read them one last time. The actor who's made many appearances since 1983 as Terry Duckworth in Coronation Street. The actor played Neil Pye in sitcom The Young Ones. 1992 Formula One World Drivers' Champion. The British chess player ranked 3rd in the world by FIDE, 1988-89. The actor who played Lord Andrew Lindsay in the 1981 film Chariots of Fire. Locomotive engineer, 1876 to 1941, designed both the Flying Scotsman and Mallard. And the food writer and broadcaster who wrote an autobiography entitled Toast, the Story of a Boy's Hunger. Now, Mitesh, remember, we are looking for the surnames of these famous Nigels. And you're going to try and find us the one that you think the fewest of our 100 people knew. Mitesh, what do you do?
I'm currently a student at Aston University, but I'm actually on placement here at the moment, working as a credit risk coordinator for a multi-industrial company.
OK, good stuff. Well, listen, there you are, your high scorers on 100.
Yeah.
What we need from you is a low score. How do you find these Nigels, the second board?
Not very good, because I was born in the 90s, so if you look at a few of those dates, they're not very kind to me. But there is one there I think I can have a stab at. I'm going to go with the 1992 Formula One World Drivers' Champion, Nigel Mansell.
Nigel Mansell says, Mitesh, no red line for you as you're the high scorers, but let's see how many of our 100 people said Nigel Mansell. Is right. 57. 157 your total there.
Yeah, it took him 13 years to win that world title, Mansell. Nearly won it 6 years previously. Then his rear tyre very famously exploded in the final Grand Prix.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Now then, Matt, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. So here you are, leaving Bristol to fight crime on its own for another day. What happened last time, Matt?
We had a blinding first round, a bit of luck with a couple of our questions, and a good second round. Got to the head-to-head, had a nightmare with politics, and then we lost by a hair's breadth on hairstyles.
But it's all Nigels now, which is great.
Yeah. Well, I had 3 in my head on the first pass. One has come up and been taken. The other 2 aren't there. But luckily...
What are you saying? There's a couple of Nigels we let slip?
Absolutely, yeah.
We're going to hear those at the end of the round. I want to hear if there's more Nigels.
Yeah.
I will let you know. And you'll know their names as soon as you hear them. Well, what I'm going for, The Young Ones, was filmed in Bristol, and I've been past the house, and I know the actor who played Neil Pye was Nigel Planer.
Nigel Planer says, Matt, well, you're on 62. You ought to score 94 or less to stay in the game. There's your red line. Let's see if Nigel Planer gets you down below it. It's right, and you're through. 32 for Nigel Planer. Takes your total up to 94.
Well played, Matt. Again, Matt and Hannah starting as they mean to go on. They did well last time, going to do well again this time. I've just thought of a Nigel as well. There's a surfeit of Nigels all of a sudden.
Who knew that? More than enough Nigels to go around, Rosie. What about that? I have great news for you, Rosie. You are through to the next round. Oh. I mean, you also have to give an answer, but even if you get it wrong, you won't overtake the high score of Drew and Mitesh.
Oh.
So what do you get up to, Rosie?
I work as a receptionist in a local solicitors company, which is very nice for me. I like quizzes, especially the Quizmaster.
You're the Golden Lion?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Rosie, what about all these Nigels?
Oh, that's such a shame. They were the two I knew, actually. I don't really know the other two at all. Oh, I do. The last one is Nigel Slater.
Nigel Slater, said
Yes.
Rosie. That's suddenly arrived.
Yes.
Just from like that. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Let's see. There's no red line for you as you're already through, but let's see how many of our 100 people said Nigel Slater. Look at that. Perfectly right. 21. That's a lovely score there, Rosie. 21 takes your total up to 45.
Yeah, very well done. Glad that came to you. He doesn't have a restaurant or any commercial connections at all, Nigel Slater. Just calls himself a cook who writes. It's nice, isn't it?
That is nice.
Enormously popular as well.
Yeah. So then, Fraser. Fraser, we come back to you. What do you do, Fraser?
I'm a pharmacist.
Excellent. And what do you do when you're not pharmacing?
Well, I'm not pharmacing. As a pharmacist, I pretty much play basketball, coach basketball, live, eat, sleep, breathe, basketball.
Basketball. OK. Any baking at all for you?
Yes, I bake as well. The Great British Bake Off encouraged me to dip my fingers in the dough.
Can I recommend something? If you're making a cherry pie, a little bit of broccoli.
I'll bear that in mind, Richard. Yeah.
So anyway, Fraser, listen, Nigels, here we go. Do you fancy talking us through the board and filling in the Nigels that we haven't landed on yet?
Thankfully, as I was watching the names disappear, I thought, at least I still know one up there. One of my favourite films, Chariots of Fire. One of my wife's favourite actors as well, Nigel Havers.
Nigel Havers, there's no red line for you as you're already through, but let's see how many people said Nigel Havers. Absolutely right, of course. There we are, 28.
Well done. You can come back.
28 takes your total up to 46. Very well done, Fraser.
Well played, Fraser. Good answer. It's an incredible career, Nigel Havers, and he's done all sorts of things. He was in Corrie last year, wasn't he?
So he was, yeah.
Now, let's take a look at the rest of these. Talking of Corrie, the actor who has appeared as Terry Duckworth is Nigel Pivaro. Well done if you said that. Would have scored 15 points. The chess player is Nigel Short. Would have scored you 8. And the best answer up there, the locomotive engineer, Nigel Gresley. Would have scored 5 points. Very well done if you said that's the best answer up there.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So, at the end of our first round, I'm afraid the pair heading home with a high score of 157 is Mitesh and Drew. I am so sorry. We threw Nigels at you, and it was tough. Anyway, we'll see you again next time. We'll look forward to that very much indeed, but thanks for playing.
Thank you.
But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. OK, so 3 pairs remain. Obviously, at the end of this round, we have to say goodbye to another pair in time for our head-to-head round. Well, Hannah and Matt, I mean, you know, the stars, the superstars of the last show, you were the high scorers in that round. But David and Rosie, Steve and Fraser, only a point between you. And David and Rosie, you did the best. So very well done indeed. Best of luck to all 3 pairs. Our category for round 2 is Formula 1. Formula 1. Matt looking quite happy with that. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many 2013 Formula 1 drivers as they could. 2013 Formula 1 drivers, Richard.
We're looking for the names of any of the 22 drivers who started the 2013 Formula 1 season, please.
OK, thanks very much indeed. Steve. Steve, is this good for you?
Not really.
Someone sighed very heavily. I think it was you. Now I hear it again.
Yeah, it was me.
Because I think you didn't mind it when it came up as a general, but then it was more specific.
Yeah.
Then we got the size.
Yeah. I'm just going to go a very obvious one. I'm going to go for Mark Webber.
Mark Webber. OK, Mark Webber. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. It's right. 35. That's not too bad.
Perfectly respectable, Steve. Yeah, it was his last season, Mark Webber. The Brazilian Grand Prix was his 215th and final Grand Prix.
Thanks, Richard. Now, David.
Hello.
David, Formula One. Now, I didn't hear anything from you. No sighs, no whoops, so I have no idea. I have nothing to
I would have
gauge
said
this
this is a good subject, and my mind has gone blank.
on.
So I'll go Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen.
Kimi Räikkönen. OK, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Kimi Räikkönen. It's right. 35 is our only score so far. You pass that. 18. 18 for Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah, Lotus driver Kimi Räikkönen, former world champion as well.
Thanks, Richard. Now, Matt. Now, Matt, you seem very happy with this.
I like a lot of Formula One. I was hoping for an older question about previous races, but I was surprised at how low Webber scored. So I'm going to go with Max Chilton.
Max Chilton says Matt. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said that. Max Chilton. Very well done. Well, 35 is our high score. 18 are low. You pass 35. You pass 18. 5. That's the way to do it, Matt. Back on top.
Well played, Matt. Yeah, British driver Max Chilton drives for Mauritius. He was permanently in the back because of the car, but he finished every single race. First rookie ever to do that in Formula One history.
That is impressive.
It is impressive, isn't it?
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. 5, Matt. What about that? See, this is what it was like back in the glory days of last time. Do you remember? Yes, you and Hannah looking very strong. Then up to 18, where we find David and Rosie. Then up to 35, Steve and Fraser. So, Fraser, I hope your Formula One is good enough and you can find something that, that will keep you in the game. Best of luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? Hannah, we are looking for 2013 Formula One drivers. 29 or less keeps you from becoming the high scorers.
I'm going to go with a driver that I know is driving, so I can name a few, but I just want to make sure that he is still driving. So I'm going to go for Fernando Alonso.
Fernando Alonso says, Hannah, there's your red line. Get below that. You are definitely in the head-to-head. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Fernando Alonso. It's right. You've done it very well done, Hannah. That's perfect. 28. You needed 29 or less. You've got it. 33 is your total.
Two-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Very, very good answer. Did exactly what you needed to do.
Thanks. Now, Rosie, how are you feeling about this?
OK, a bit.
OK, a bit. Good. Good. Well, you're on 18. The high score is still Fraser and Steve on 35. If you want to avoid overtaking them before they've given their answer, 16 or less.
Jenson Button.
Jenson Button, says Rosie. OK, Jenson Button. There's your red line. That's quite low. Let's see how far down the column you get with Jenson Button. He's right. Oh, it's a high one, I'm afraid, Rosie. That takes your total up to 84.
Another former world champion, but just 9th in 2013 for Jenson Button. But very big name recognition.
Thanks very much indeed. Now, Fraser. There you are, 35. If you can score 48 or less, you're in the head-to-head. What do you think?
I think I'll play it relatively safe and go for the Toro Rosso driver, Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo, says Fraser. There's your red line. Let's see if you can get down below that with Daniel Ricciardo. It's right. You are in the head-to-head. Very well done. And how? Look at that. 5. That's a great score. 5 takes your total up to 40. Joint lowest score of the round there, Fraser.
Well played, Fraser. Terrific answer. As you say, drove for Toro Rosso in 2013, Australian. But destined for very great things, I think. Now, there's no pointless answers at all, because our 100 are very good at this sort of thing, but there's a couple of one-pointers. If you said Jules Bianchi, very well done, the Mauritius driver, the teammate of Max Chilton. And Esteban Gutierrez also would have scored you 1 point. And Nico Hulkenberg would have scored you 2 points, the Sauber driver. Other low scorers, Valtteri Bottas would have scored you 3, as would Pastor Maldonado, Jean-Eric Verne and Guido van der Garde. All of those would have scored 3. Charles Pic would have scored you 4. Romain Grosjean would have scored you 9 points, 13 for Massa and Rosberg. Let's take a look at the top 3 scorers, the ones that most of our 100 people said. Vettel would have scored you 48. Jenson Button 66, and right at the top, Lewis Hamilton with 67, just pipping Button there.
Thanks very much indeed. So at the end of our second round, I'm afraid the pair heading home with a high score of 84, it's Rosie and David. Well, really nothing wrong with your answering there. I guess Jenson Button was just a bit of a high score. But it doesn't matter. The great news is we get to see you again next time.
Yes.
We look forward to that very much indeed. Rosie and David, thanks so much for playing. Right, for the remaining 2 pairs, it's now time for the head-to-head. Congratulations, Stephen, Fraser, Hannah and Matt. You are now 1 step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £2,000. Now, we have to decide who's going to play for that money in the pointless final, and to do that, you are now going to go head-to-head. The good news is you're now allowed to confer, and the first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. OK, here is your first question, and it concerns pop costumes. Pop costumes.
We're going to show you 5 outfits, costumes or items now, famously worn by a particular pop artist. You just need to tell us who they're worn by, please. Very best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed. So let's reveal our costumes, and here they come. We have got A, B, C, D, and E. There we are, 5 pop costumes. Now, Steve and Fraser, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you will go first.
We're going to go for E, personal favourite of ours, Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue. Say Steve and Fraser. Kylie Minogue. Now, Hannah and Matt, do you think you can talk us through the rest of that board?
Yeah, I've got an inkling that A might be Shakira or Christina Aguilera, but it would be a bit of a punt. I'm not sure B, I don't recognise that at all. We're confident that C is Freddie Mercury and D is Madonna. I don't mind. Go on.
Let's go D. D, Madonna.
D, Madonna. OK, so we have Kylie Minogue, we have Madonna. Steve and Fraser said Kylie Minogue for E. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said Kylie Minogue. It's right. 67 for Kylie Minogue. That's quite high, isn't it? Hannah and Matt, meanwhile, have said that D is Madonna. D, Madonna. Let's see how many people said that. That's right. 79 for Madonna. Very well done, Stephen Fraser. After 1 question, you are up 1-0.
Yeah, Hannah and Matt, I think I would have done what you did there. I think I would have avoided Freddie Mercury, because I would have thought it would be a big score, but actually would have won you the point. Oh. So it's Freddie Mercury, would have only scored you 52. Isn't that amazing? Really? I would definitely have avoided that. Now, for the first one, if you'd had to choose between Shakira and Christina Aguilera, which would you have chosen?
Shakira came into my mind first.
OK, it was Britney Spears. It would have scored you 9 points. And B is Katy Perry. Oh. That's the best answer up there, 1 point.
I was sure that was Shakira.
You thought it was Shakira?
Yeah, I'm the one on the left. How extraordinary. Well, there we go. Thanks very much indeed. So here comes your second question. Hannah and Matt, you get to answer this one first, but you have to win it to stay in the game. So very, very best of luck. Here it comes. It concerns colourful film titles. Colourful film titles, Richard.
I'm going to show you 5 clues now to films that either have red, white or blue in their title. Can you give us the most obscure answer? Good luck.
OK, thanks very much. Let's reveal our 5 clues, and here they come. Tom Clancy adaptation with Alec Baldwin as Jack Ryan, 1990. Prequel in which Anthony Hopkins reprised his role as Hannibal Lecter, 2002. Festive favourite starring Bing Crosby, 1954. Mafia comedy with Hugh Grant, 1999. And Michael Haneke's pre-World War I drama set in Germany, 2009. I'll read those all one last time. Tom Clancy adaptation with Alec Baldwin as Jack Ryan, 1990. Prequel in which Anthony Hopkins reprised his role as Hannibal Lecter, 2002. Festive favourite starring Bing Crosby, 1954. Mafia comedy with Hugh Grant, 1999. And Michael Haneke's pre-World War I drama set in Germany, 2009. Hannah and Matt, you'll go first.
Do you know the Germany one film? No, top one. Mickey Blue Eyes. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Mickey Blue Eyes. I don't know. I probably will know when I hear it, but let's go for the mafia comedy with Hugh Grant.
Yeah, we're going to go for the mafia comedy with Hugh Grant. We think was Mickey Blue Eyes.
Mickey Blue Eyes, say Hannah and Matt. Mickey Blue Eyes. Now, Steve and Fraser.
Well, the top one is The Hunt for Red October.
Yep.
The second one, I think, is Red Dragon.
Yep.
Third one is White Christmas. And you're on your own.
No. Bottom one, I can't remember at all. I just can't think of it.
No, so
I think we'll go for prequel in which Anthony Hopkins reprised his role as Hannibal Lecter, and we'll go for Red Dragon.
Red Dragon. So we have Mickey Blue Eyes, we have Red Dragon. Now, Hannah and Matthew, you've said Mickey Blue Eyes. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people have said that. It's right. $23. That seems okay, but you have to win this one to stay in the game. Steve and Fraser have gone for Red Dragon. Let's find out. Red Dragon, is it right? Will it beat Mickey Blue Eyes? Oh, look at that. Wow, 24. Very well done. Hannah and Matthew, that was incredibly well reasoned. Whew, by the skin of your teeth, you are in the game still. After 2 questions, it's 1-1.
Well, last time Hannah and Matt avoided an answer that would have won them the point. This time you've done it because the Hunt for Red October would have seen you through to the jackpot round. Yes, 7 points for that.
Pardon?
I think a famous film, but maybe people didn't recognise the description of it. I don't know. The festive favourite starring Bing Crosby, I think you all knew, is White Christmas. Big scorer, though, 86 points for that. And the Michael Haneke film, very well done at home if you got this, The White Ribbon. Terrific answer.
Thanks very much indeed. Richard, so here comes the decider. This is your third question. Whoever wins this goes through to the final and plays for that jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. And it concerns Mexican food. Mexican food, Richard.
I'm going to show you 5 types of Mexican food now, but in anagram form. Can you unscramble them and give us the best answer? The team who does is going through to play for the jackpot, so very best of luck.
Thanks very much. Let's reveal our 5 anagrams of Mexican food, and here we have no cash, rib route, craves house horn, at toads, and magic chin. No cash, rib route, craves house horn, at toads, and magic chin. There we are. Steve and Fraser, you will go first this time.
What have you got?
Bottom was Jimmy Django.
Yeah. And burrito.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them.
Go for the bottom one.
I think the bottom one is chimichangas.
Chimichanga. OK, chimichanga, say Steve and Fraser. Now then, Hannah and Matthew, do you want to talk us through the rest of the board?
We just worked out chimichanga. I think the second one down is burrito. We'll have to go with it, aren't we? I can't think of anything else there.
Can you think of any others that might fit? The only things I can think of is churros or enchiladas. No. It'll have to be burrito.
OK, you're going to go with burrito. So we have chimichanga and we have burrito. Steve and Fraser said chimichanga. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. Wow, very well done. 15. 15 for chimichanga. Now, Hannah and Matt, you have said burrito. Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many people said burrito. It's right. Oh, 19 for burrito. Very, very close. As it has been the whole way through this head-to-head. Absolutely fantastic head-to-head. Very well done to both pairs. But after 3 questions, Steve and Fraser, it's you who go through to the final 2-1.
Terrific stuff. Well played, all 4 of you. All of the other 3 answers would have won the points, actually. The top one I thought was quite easy, but a lot of 100 people had trouble with it. I think quite often when they're plurals, people have trouble. It's nachos.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Well, did you not get it either?
No.
Yeah, 11 points. At Toads, do you know that? Tostada. Tostada would have scored you 6 points. Now, this other one is a pointless answer.
Oh.
If you like Mexican eggs, you like huevos rancheros. Pointless answer. Very well done if you said that.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our head-to-head round, I'm afraid the pair heading home, I'm afraid, twice the bridesmaids, never the bride. Oh, dear, Hannah and Matt, so close. And what a brilliant head-to-head you gave us that time. I'm really sorry we have to say goodbye to you now. It seems such a shame. But thank you so much for playing. Hannah and Matt. Thank you. But for Steve and Fraser, it's now time for our pointless final. Congratulations, Steve and Fraser. You've fought off all the competition and you've won our coveted pointless trophy, so very well done. You now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £2,000. There it is. You've done so well. Really, really well. Consistent good scoring throughout the show, and you've seen off our returning pair, our previous head-to-headers, in fact. And here you are in the final. What would you like to see come up this round?
He wants US sport, specifically basketball.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No surprise there.
Steve?
Geography.
Geography.
Geography would be good.
OK, good. Well, very best of luck. As always, you start this round by choosing your category, and here are your 4 options. They are Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals, English sport in the 1990s, British actors, Blackpool.
I think we probably need to go for that.
Right, come on. Yeah.
I think English sport in the 1990s.
English sport in the 1990s. OK, Richard.
This is perfect for a couple of Scots because we're looking for 3 different things that are all about English teams that lost. So we've got 3 losing English teams, and we're looking for any of the 15 players or 6 replacements who were beaten in the 1991 Rugby World Cup final. We are looking for any of the 11 England players who lost in the 1992 Cricket World Cup final, or any of the players or subs in the 1990 World Cup semi-final that England also lost. So 3 defeated England teams for 2 Scots. The 1991 Rugby World Cup final, the 1992 Cricket World Cup final, the semi-final of the 1990 World Cup. Very best of luck, guys.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Now, as always, you've got up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and to win that jackpot, all you have to do is find just 1 pointless answer among those 3. Now, remember, your answers can come from any of these categories. How you spread them across the categories is entirely up to you. It could be 1 from each, 2 from one, 1 from another. Entirely up to you. Are you ready?
Yes.
OK, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Right. Are we just going to forget about rugby?
No.
No, we're going to think about
rugby, I would probably go for maybe somebody like Wade Dooley or Rob Andrew would certainly be in my...
They're not going to be non-pointless, though? What about cricketers?
Wade Dooley potentially could be.
Cricket from 92. Oh.
Cricket's your sport, so...
I don't know about the vintage, though.
Yeah. What about football?
Football. Right, OK, so that's Gascoigne and Tiers, isn't it? So that's Gascoigne, Lineker, David Platt.
Yeah, David Platt would
Mark
possibly
Wright?
be good.
Was he that year?
Mark Wright was that year as well, yeah.
Who was in goals? 1990.
David Seaman would probably be the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that would have been Seaman. Is that Beardsley?
Yeah.
He been playing?
Yeah.
10 seconds left.
Beardsley would have been playing too. Not Shearer.
Chris Wardle.
Chris Wardle would have played as well, because I'm sure he missed one of the penalties, didn't he?
OK, that's your time up. I now need your 3 answers. What can you give me?
What do you want?
Can I pick 1 rugby player then? We'll go
on, then.
Wade Dooley.
Wade Dooley.
England player in the 1991 IRB World Cup final.
OK.
Mark Wright, did he definitely play?
We'll go for Mark Wright, yeah.
Mark Wright.
Mark Wright.
And Beardsley.
And Peter Beardsley. OK, of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer, would you
Mark
thought?
Wright, I think.
OK, Mark Wright we'll put last. Least likely to be pointless?
Peter Beardsley.
Right, go
Peter Beardsley will put first. Let's pop those up on the board in that order, and here they are. We have got Peter Beardsley, Wade Dooley, and Mark Wright. Well, very, very best of luck. 3 perfectly good answers up there. Now, remember, only one of those has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot of £2,000. What would you do with that, Steve?
I've got a bit of decorating on the cards, so it's just going to go to my local big DIY store, I think.
OK, Fraser, how about you?
That would be in the holiday fund.
Excellent. Well, best of luck. As I say, 3 perfectly good answers. Peter Beardsley was your first answer, the one you thought was probably least likely to be pointless. Let's find out. Obviously, it has to be correct, then it has to be pointless for you to win the jackpot. So for £2,000, how many people named Peter Beardsley as a player in the 1990 World Cup semi-final? It's right. It's right. Now, if this goes all the way down to 0, you will leave here straight away with £1,000 in your back pocket. It's going down. Still down it goes. Still going down. You've done it! You have done it! Fantastic. Very well done indeed. Very well done. Superb. Massive congratulations. Stephen Fraser. Well, the DIY store will be rubbing their hands.
I literally cannot wait to get the step ladders out.
Peter Beardsley was a pointless answer, which means you leave here with that jackpot of £2,000. Very well done indeed.
Very well played, guys. I'm sad that Stephen Fraser aren't back next time. That's the only
know.
bad thing when people get through to the final. You've been terrific. You know what? We should give Scottish people losing English teams more often, because Peter Beardsley was pointless and Wade Dooley was also pointless. And for the sake of Scots everywhere, Mark Wright, also pointless. Three pointless answers happens very, very rarely on this show, so congratulations, guys. You should be very proud of yourself. Done terrifically all the way through. Terrific way to end as well. Let's take a look at lots of the other pointless answers. I know people at home would have got other ones. There's Rob Andrew as well, who you also said in your 60 seconds. Dowie Morris, Jason Leonard would have been a pointless answer. Jonathan Webb, you could have had David Pears, Dean Richards, Gary Pearce, Jeff Probin would have been a pointless answer. Mike Teague, Nigel Heslop, Paul Ackford, Peter Winterbottom, Richard Hill, Simon Halliday, all of those pointless. I think it's exactly what you're saying. When you date stamp them, people forget who was in particular eras, don't they? You remember the players, but can't remember exactly the years they played in. Let's take a look at the cricket ones, because you didn't give us anything from here. All sort of all-rounders, these four. Chris Lewis, Dermot Reeve, Phil de Freitas, and Richard Illingworth, the spinner. Also Neil Fairbrother, the batsman, also would have been a pointless answer there. And for the football question, you could have had Chris Woods, the goalie, who lots of Scottish football fans will remember. Des Walker, there's Peter Beardsley, Trevor Stephen as well, who played up in Scotland too. Could also have had Steve Bull, Steve McMahon or Tony DeRigo. Very well done to anyone who got a pointless answer at home. But I don't know if anyone got 3 pointless answers like Stephen Fraser did. Brilliant, terrific, well played, guys. Well, thanks once again to our winning players, Stephen Fraser, who go away with today's jackpot of £2,000. Join us next time when we'll be putting more obscure knowledge to the test on Pointless. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard. Goodbye. And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.